I'm writing you this letter as a character reference for my brother, Jeffrey D. Osborne, who was killed on September 28, 2016 by his son. I hope that after you read this, you will understand that Jeff was more than a byproduct of a school shooting, but a father, husband, son, brother, uncle, and friend that did not deserve the fate he received. My brother, as a youngster, was an outgoing and precarious as any other kid could be. When Jeff was born, our mother's and his blood didn't match, and a complete blood transfusion was completed in the first days of his life in order for him to make it. Our family always joked about this his entire life because of his ability to dance and his agility and speed. I had Jeff doing wheelies on his bicycle when he was 3. And jumping lawnmowers by the time he was 5. Even though we were almost 6 years apart, an age difference that he held against me for years. I drug him everywhere and into everything that I could, and he was always a willing participant. Excuse me. At the age of 8, his appendix ruptured. Everyone in the family had been sick with the virus for a week, and when we thought we were all over it, Jeff decided he needed to get it, and I have to go to school. Little did we know he was actually suffering from acute appendicitis and dealing with excruciating pain. My mother rushed him to the doctor, Dr. S.T. Haddock to be exact, and he immediately had him set up for emergency surgery. While in the hospital, Jeff was a little kid that made everyone smile and laugh the entire time he was there. I enlisted in the Air Force and actually led for basic training on Jeff's 12th birthday. I'll never will forget the minute I stepped on the bus to leave and looked at him. He looked me dead in the eye and told me that this was the best damn birthday present I could ever give him. He knew that he was about to be spoiled by my parents, and that's exactly right. Although they both worked restaurant hours, Mom at Red Lobster for 32 years, and Dad at Ryan's, Jeff missed out on nothing. He was never alone and was always going somewhere with someone. He speed skated, played baseball, played football, you name it, he was out doing it. While Jeff was not the greatest student to come along at Centerville, Lakeside, or Westside, he was definitely one that his fellow students, teachers, and administrators will never forget. I'm sure you can walk up to Mr. Henry Adair, Mike Sams, or Roy Mack and mention his name today, and a smile will come across their faces. His personality, willingness to stand up for the little guy, honesty, and dare I say toughness made an impact on all who came in contact with him. Excuse me. After high school, Jeff did not attend college, but went straight to work to make his mark. No matter where he worked, he gave it his all, whether it was pouring concrete forms in 100-degree heat, working in restaurants, or his almost 15 years at Bosch Corporation. Jeff left nothing on the table when it came to his work ethic. We were both taught by our parents and grandparents that working hard was what we were supposed to do in life, and that nothing would be handed to you as a gift. When Jeffrey decided in 2005 that he wanted to use some of the family land to become a chicken farmer, many people had their doubts. I was one of them. Jeff was not the farmer type, although our grandfather was a farmer. He was a willing student of the chicken business and quickly learned how to control his flocks in order to make the most money for his family. His biggest desire was to make sure that his wife and son were taken care of, especially Jesse. He was named top producer several times by Philadelphia Farms as their top grower for a certain period. Nothing made him prouder of his work than to get to wear that top grower hat. Out and around all the other chicken farmers. He was never scared of hard work, and his dedication to his chicken farm would be attested to by any of his field supervisors that you talked to. My brother had many friends, as attested by the over 900 people who came to his funeral. Whether you'd known him 2 weeks or 20 years, if Jeff called you friend, you were his friend for life. I'll get through it, I promise. I remember standing in the receiving line. Several people came through that said they hadn't seen him in years. But it was just like yesterday that they had talked to him. He made an impact on people and never tried to. He was just that genuine a person. Excuse me. I'm all right. Thank you, though. Jeff may not have been the greatest father in the world, but who among us are? But let me tell you, if you talked to him for over a minute, he was telling you or bragging about something Jesse had done or was going to do. I know for a fact that there were times when Jeff's marriage wasn't the best in the world, but he wouldn't make a move because of his fear of losing Jesse and not being able to spend every day with him. When Jesse was younger and going to school, Jeff dressed him, combed his hair, tied his shoes every day before he went to school. Along with running his farm, he cooked the meals, washed the clothes, and made sure Jesse was getting what he needed to get through his daily routine. Even after Jesse was expelled from the school, it was Jeff and only Jeff that went to the court-appointed meetings. That was documented in the court records from the psychiatrist he dealt with. Jeff was the parent in the household, and he wanted to make sure that Jesse had everything possible to succeed. That also included a strong work ethic. If Jesse wanted money for a movie or go places, Jeff wanted him to help in the chicken houses or around the property doing chores. Jesse refused. This was a point of contention with Jeff, but his way of dealing with it was to be firm and standing his ground with Jesse. Jeff was an awesome brother. One that would do anything for me at the drop of a hat, and not for him. He was a doting son to my mom and my dad, and hardly a day went by that he wasn't at their house to check on them or just to say hello. My daughters will also, my daughters will always consider him the greatest uncle ever. My oldest, Caitlin, that's what he called her, not Katie, thought he hung the moon. My youngest, Kelsey, who is just like him in many ways, thinks he made the moon before he hung it. At the time of his death, Jeff had only one great nephew, Rhett, who was almost 2 when Jeff was killed. I never heard Jeff call him Rhett. It was always baby Rhett. I can only imagine Rhett being 20 years old. And his Uncle Jeff still calling him Baby Rhett. I'm sorry, Jeff. That's all we have now, the memories and the what could have been. Our Jeff was taken from us in a most senseless act of violence. He may not have been the greatest father in the world, but none of us are. He was not a perfect human, but none of us are. But he was a man who loved his friends and family and was adored by the same. I could go on trying to make you understand. Jeff was a human being of good character and loved by many and didn't deserve the fate he got. He was sitting on his couch relaxing and was a means to an end for an individual that has stated he wanted to be the youngest mass shooter in U.S. history and also record the most kills. Our family mourns for Jeff daily, and we are sorrowful and remorseful for what happened to Jacob and all the students and faculty, for that matter, the Tearful community, that awful day. It has changed all of our lives forever, and none of us will ever be the same. Yet, our lives must go on. They just won't be the same as they were before. I hope my words have somehow painted you a picture of a man that has only been portrayed as an afterthought to a school shooting. He is not an afterthought to us. If you will, please take into account that he had meaning to so many lives, large or small, and that was taken away from all of us by his own son.